And then Cunningham gets into the face of DiJonai Carrington. So clearly was a foul, was not called.
I'm sick of watching getting attacked. If the league doesn't step up and protect her, things are going to get ugly real fast.
The most physically targeted franchise in professional basketball just watched its enforcer take a shot to the face on a breakaway layup before crashing hard to the floor with no chance to protect herself. Even more shocking, the player responsible posted white privilege on Threads before she had even left the arena and tagged the Indiana Fever. Steph Curry has been paying close attention to this league all season. He studied Clark's game and experienced her public support when opponents were grabbing and pressuring him throughout the game in Charlotte. He understands exactly what it looks like when a player and her franchise are being targeted beyond the normal boundaries of competitive basketball.
I mean, look, it was a hard foul. I don't think that DiJonai intentionally came out to get her across the neck like she did, but it did happen, and I thought it was the right call. But, you know, one of the things about Nay is that she's going to play her butt off, man. She's going to compete. Nobody's going to go walking in for a layup. And so I don't oppose the hard foul, but I also don't think that she intentionally went for the net.
What DiJonai Carrington did to Sophie Cunningham on August 8th, along with what she posted just 8 minutes later, may be the moment that shows the Indiana Fever are dealing with more than just physical targeting on the court. The situation appears to have crossed into an entirely different territory, and the basketball world needs to hear that clearly. A new camera angle has now revealed something that viewers never heard during the national broadcast.
These black females are pissed off because the two of the white girls that are holding up the entire fucking league is Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark. And they can't stand it because these bitches can play ball. See, it's black people own basketball. We own the court. Who these white girls are think they coming in here like this? Y'all sit and laugh about this shit before games. Who gonna take down the white girl? Who gonna take down the white girl? You think I don't know what the fuck you're doing? Look, Sophie Cunningham, Caitlin Clark, their jerseys are selling out. These two females are getting endorsements. I see their commercials. T-Mobile, Nike, they getting endorsements all over the place, and your black ass ain't getting none. DiJonai Carrington. Bitch, I saw the replay. You hit that girl in the face. Y'all sit and talk about this shit before the games. You think what? I grew up in the hood. I'm from the hood, bitch. I know what you're doing. I know what y'all doing. But see, nobody pays for these WNBA games. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This DiJonai. What? Okay, so you gonna talk about, you got ejected from the game because you clearly hit Sophie Cunningham in the face. We can see the replay. It's very apparent you did it on purpose. You ran after her to hit her in the face. We saw it. And then you got ejected. Oh, it's just white supremacy. Oh, it's white privilege. No, bitch, it's because you is a hood rat. And you hit that girl in the face on purpose. But you know what? I commend Caitlin Clark. I commend Sophie Cunningham because they keep coming back. They keep coming back. And Sophie got in your face. She's not gonna cower and go into the corner. You think y'all can just cower white girls all the time? They're getting sick of your shit. People are getting sick of your shit. Nobody cares about the WNBA anyway. Y'all demand, oh, we want the same pay as the NBA. No. Have you looked at the seats in WNBA games? And if there are people, they come to see Sophie Cunningham and they come to see Caitlin Clark.
Cunningham got back to her feet after Carrington's arm came across her face and neck. She immediately looked at Carrington and said 7 words that a fan-recorded video captured, and once the clearer angle emerged, they quickly went viral. Sophie Cunningham can be heard saying, "Why the F***K did you do that?" 7 words spoken while she was still on the court. It wasn't a threat or an attempt to escalate the situation, but a genuine question from a player who had never even spoken to Carrington before that moment, had no history with her, and was simply going up for a breakaway layup when an arm suddenly came across her face.
I am so fucking sick of the Indiana Fever and Sophie Cunningham. I really, really mean it, and I really have been trying to just keep my mouth shut because the rabid-ass, racist-ass fan base makes it insufferable to actually talk about basketball with people, one, who know the game, who used to play the game, and understand sometimes things just happen in the game. DiJonai got ejected in the first quarter. in the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever. Sophie Cunningham went up for a layup. DiJonai went to block it, right? Flying in the air. When she went to smack, she missed the ball, hit Sophie's head. I have not played basketball since junior high. That happened to me before. But where I'm at now with it is, one, everything Sophie Cunningham does in the game is for social media. Everything she does in that game is for social media's response, no matter what. Why? Because she's a mid-ass player in the fucking league. And yes, I am a person who has not played basketball since junior high, but I can say she is a mid player in the league. Look at her stats, who understands that where her opportunity is being a social media meme, clip, soundbite. And she will do that by any means, because at this point, that's making her off-court money. What irritates me is, one, DiJonai getting the flagrant 2. I don't think that it should have been a flagrant 2, because the intent to hurt, I don't think that there was an intent to hurt. When you go up to block the ball, especially in a layup, sometimes that shit happens. However, what I'm going to talk about is the aftermath. Sophie getting up and getting in DiJonai's face, and you physically see DiJonai say, stop, stop, stop. With the public, the people who support Sophie Cunningham and the Fever, resulting in such blatant racism, in such social media attacks on any team, any player that is opposing the Fever, Sophie, Caitlin Clark, and especially being black, it results in such racism. Not only now are the players like, hey, I know if I'm going up against the Fever, and especially Sophie, Caitlin, I will take Lexi Hull out of this. Last season, we was getting close, Lexi. We was getting really close. I'll take her out of this equation now. But especially those two, the black players understand that if anything happens, even though it may be things that happen during the game, shit that is so normal to happen during the game, they know that they have racist attacks waiting on them online. Or
why the F***K did you do that? Was the most natural reaction possible. Yet Carrington never answered, choosing not to comment to reporters after the game while still having plenty to say on social media. Cunningham had a clear step on the breakaway when Carrington caught up from behind and swung her left arm downward across the face and neck area, sending Cunningham hard onto her backside with no chance to brace herself or break the fall.
Walk with me, take a walk with me, take a walk with me. There is craziness going on in the WNBA. DiJonai Carrington tweeted out white privilege from the locker room of a game that she was playing in. Get this, she fouled Sophie Cunningham hard. Sophie Cunningham, obviously a white person, fouls her hard. Flagrant 2, gets ejected, goes to the locker room and tweets out white privilege in the middle of the game. Now here's the kicker to me. A flagrant 2 has to be contact that can lead to an injury that looks excessive. DiJonai, it was about as excessive as possible. If there was any evidence of there being white privilege, this was not.
The play was initially ruled a flagrant 1, but after reviewing the footage, officials upgraded it to a flagrant 2. Carrington was given a flagrant 2 foul and ejected from the game. Before her ejection, she had been one of the Sky's biggest sources of energy, scoring 8 points in just 4 minutes after coming off the bench.
DiJonai Carrington is such an unserious person, because what do you mean you commit a flagrant 2 and then you go to threads and play the victim?
Now trying to prevent the layup, but that is just a hard hit. That's definitely going to be upgraded, I think, to a flagrant 2, Ryan.
I think that is going to be a flagrant 2. There is wind up, there is follow through, there's potential for injury.
Like, that was such a clear flagrant 2. Like, clearly she almost took Sophie's head off, and I don't even like Sophie, and she got me on this internet defending Sophie, like, but that was a clear flagrant 2. Like, there is no question about it. So the fact that she went to threads, and anybody called this, like, everybody knew she was about to go to threads as soon as she got ejected from the game. And then the fact that she tagged the Indiana Fever, what does the Fever got to do with it? The refs are who threw you out the game. It has nothing to do with the Fever. And to say white privilege, like, I'm just so confused. You are the one who fouled her. Like, what is not clicking? And it was 100% done on purpose. And I can only assume it's because of all of Sophie Cunningham's comments that she's been making to the media in the last couple of weeks about biological men and women's sports and all that. And like I said, I don't even like Sophie Cunningham, but girl, that was definitely a flagrant 2. At this point, I just have to assume that DiJonai loves attention and clout, because you clearly wanted attention when you committed that flagrant 2, and you wanted attention when you went to threads. I mean, this is the same person who outed her relationship drama on threads, so Are we surprised?
Carrington brought her arm down across Cunningham's face during the breakaway and was ejected for the play. The momentum she had created disappeared the instant she swung that arm, and what happened afterward only made things worse. Following her ejection, Carrington posted white privilege on Threads and tagged the Fever. She later posted August 23rd on social media, referencing the next matchup between the teams, just 8 minutes after the foul while Cunningham was still on the court.
A black girl clotheslines a white girl on the basketball court, was ejected from the game, and then immediately tweets out white privilege. The claim is so outlandish, I don't even know how to rebut it or what commentary to provide, because in what world does it make sense, right? Then you have Sports Illustrated with this headline after the game. Let me just remind you what Sophie Cunningham said. Actually, I'll just put it right here. This is what Sophie Cunningham said regarding protecting women's sports. That is it. Nothing more, nothing less. So I guess this is the price of standing for women and for girls. And what, we all just have to accept it as karma? No, this is assault far beyond what is normal on a basketball court. And who would be surprised if I told you that DiJonai Carrington, the woman who did that to Sophie, is the same woman who did this to Caitlin Clark. One more time, just in slow-mo. Oh yeah, that pesky white privilege. Final thoughts. The WNBA is a joke. Sophie Cunningham is an icon, and black people like DiJonai Carrington can, in fact, be racist.
White privilege followed by a calendar date, posted by a player who chose not to address reporters directly. Steph Curry has spent his career as one of the NBA's most physically targeted stars, grabbed, held, pressured, fouled, and sometimes hit in ways officials completely miss. He knows what a pattern looks like. He understands the difference between normal physical basketball and intentional targeting. And he knows because Clark told him herself in January 2026, when she commented beneath a video showing Curry being manhandled against the Charlotte Hornets, "We want to see Steph make 12 threes a game. Stop grabbing him, please." Clark made it clear she was speaking for herself, and Curry knew exactly what she meant.
For saying I'm a woman, they would say I'm racist for saying I'm black. Think about how broken that is. Also, this woman, she's got a blonde wig on. Why is she culturally appropriating white girls' hairs? This is completely unacceptable. Again, this is their own rules. They're all absurd when they're logically applied across the board, which I think all reasonable people should do.
All right.
What Carrington did on August 8th goes far beyond being a Steph Curry issue. This isn't simply about the physical treatment of the most skilled player on the court. It's about a player striking Cunningham during a breakaway, the same player who has stood up for Clark, called attention to the treatment she was receiving when others stayed silent, and openly said that Clark was being targeted while the league did nothing. At this point, the conversation has moved beyond normal basketball physicality. It has become tied to the transgender controversy and the broader political targeting surrounding the Indiana Fever. And Steph Curry, who understands better than most how the game suffers when competition turns into public statements, can recognize exactly what is happening.
What is the method to her madness? I'm talking about Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White. I have brought this up multiple times, how she doesn't go out of her way to defend her players, especially Sophie Cunningham. I mentioned it last week when Sophie Cunningham was elbowed in the face and Cunningham was whistled for the foul. No argument by Stephanie White, even though it was so obvious Cunningham was the victim there. And then, of course, what happened Saturday, DiJonai Carrington taking out Sophie Cunningham. We all saw the video. We all saw what happened to Carrington. We all saw and read her Threads post after she was thrown out of the game. And oh, by the way, where is the league on this? I don't care what, even though it was ridiculous that she wrote white privilege, by the way, but I don't care if she wrote, dog privilege. You should not be allowed, after you're thrown out of a game, during a game, whenever, players should not be allowed to post on social media. Is there a fine coming there to Miss Carrington? For goodness sake. What is going on with this league? But let's get back to Stephanie White. In the post game, after Saturday's win by the Fever, which, oh, by the way, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell continue to light up everything. Fantastic combo. What a team. Stephanie White is defending DiJonai Carrington. I didn't hear anything about Sophie Cunningham, her own player. All I heard was about, that's the way DiJonai plays. That's the way she...
Carrington has been involved in a similar controversial incident involving Caitlin Clark before. At the time, she was still with the Connecticut Sun, facing Clark and the Indiana Fever in the first round of the 2024 playoffs. As Connecticut's top perimeter defender, Carrington was primarily responsible for guarding the star rookie. Early in Game 1, she caught Clark in the face with a blow that briefly forced Clark out of the action. Same player, same type of controversy, this time in the 2024 postseason. The WNBA's response didn't appear to change Carrington's approach. Then, in 2025 with the Dallas Wings, she dragged a fingernail across Jessica Shepard's face and received a flagrant one, prompting Jason Whitlock to warn that Carrington could seriously injure someone in the WNBA.
Oh, okay, white privilege, says the girl who looks like she's trying to be white, and also what it looks like to me is a multi-game suspension.
The same thing is true of this one-way race-baiting nonsense. This crap has to be called out. If Sophie Cunningham had gotten ejected from the game for something like this, gone into a locker room and tweeted black privilege, can you imagine how the WNBA would have come down on her? But DiJonai gets a pass because she's black. That double standard isn't gonna fly. We are done.
The league failed to take any meaningful action. Then, on August 8, 2026, Carrington swung her arm across Cunningham's face during a breakaway and posted white privilege, just 8 minutes later. 3 players, 3 incidents, 2 seasons, and 1 warning from Whitlock that the WNBA ultimately ignored. This is not some random coincidence. It's a pattern that the league's failure to impose serious discipline allowed to continue. And Steph Curry, who has watched Clark face repeated targeting throughout the season with little meaningful punishment, is now seeing that same institutional failure affect another player in real time. After the incident, Cunningham had to be separated from Carrington after taking exception to the hard foul.
Punch in the throat, that could kill her, right? And the WNBA, right? The people that run that league, if you're DiJonai here and you have a foul like that, I don't want to hear about, okay, that's a flagrant 2 and you get this sort of fine. She should be suspended for the rest of the season because this isn't, as you said, Tommy, a whoops. This is intentional. This was targeting Sophie Cunningham, and I don't care if the player is white or black. It does not matter. When you do this to somebody, this is horrible for the league. Obviously, this was done because Sophie Cunningham stood up for women, saying that men shouldn't play against women in sports because there is obviously a chromosome advantage, just like you see with steroids, a chemical advantage.
The internet barely needed any time to react to what had happened. Carrington struck Clark in the face during the 2024 playoffs, then hit Shepard in the face earlier this season, and now Cunningham had been hit in the face today. Whitlock had already warned that she could seriously injure someone, yet the WNBA had 3 opportunities to intervene and failed each time. One fan wrote, Carrington refused to speak with reporters, yet had 2 posts ready on Threads within 8 minutes, white privilege and August 23rd. She had nothing to tell journalists but plenty to say in the Fever's social media mentions. Another posted, Cunningham said she had never spoken to Carrington and had no beef with her. Carrington brought up the trans controversy and posted white privilege. This isn't about basketball anymore. It's political, and Cunningham is being targeted because of what she said.
Hey, the WNBA is the gift that keeps on giving. The latest is a clothesline foul on Sophie Cunningham by DiJonai Carrington, the woman that went on an incredibly racist rant against cab driver, and of course knocked the hell out of Caitlin Clark from behind her rookie year. But that's okay. I'm not mad at that kind of basketball. That's all good. But the problem is after. It was white privilege. I just want you to think logically and please comment on this. White girl goes to the basket. African-American woman knocks her on her ass, clothesliner, knocks her down, upgraded to a flagrant 2. Black girl kicked out, and it's all because of white privilege. Let me know what you think. I think it's typical WNBA stupidity, and I love it.
And this is the part that fits perfectly into Steph Curry's entire perspective. Clark trained with Curry's trainer to improve her game, while Cunningham has repeatedly spoken up in defense of Clark and girls in sports. Carrington's response was a flagrant 2 to the face, followed by a white privilege post on Threads. The league now appears to be battling its own biggest franchise, and the WNBA is paying the price. Indiana still won 90-86, even as the crowd cheered Carrington's ejection while she headed toward the tunnel. The white privilege post had already gone viral before halftime, while the trans controversy continued swirling outside Wintrust Arena as the game unfolded inside.
I'm never going to think it's all right for men to play sports against women. And I don't even think that's controversial. That's the thing that's funny. Like some of this stuff Like when you see these debates on television, like, yeah, men shouldn't play sports against women. I'm done. I don't want to hear you try to explain it to me. No, I don't want to hear it. I'm not going to argue with you. Men shouldn't play sports against women. I'm done. There's a lot of we can argue over. That ain't.
You women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark.
The Fever had seen enough. Cunningham basically said, "Get your stuff off. That's fine, I can take it." Clark responded the only way she knows how, by playing basketball and letting the scoreboard speak for her. Steph Curry trained the player who has made this franchise impossible to ignore, and now he's watching that player's teammate get hit in the face on a breakaway, ask from the floor, "Why the F***K did you do that?" And then see the player responsible post white privilege before the arena had even cleared out. This doesn't feel like just another basketball story anymore. This is the WNBA in August 2026. Now the league has to decide whether a flagrant 2 ejection followed by a controversial social media post deserves consequences that match the seriousness of the situation, because a 1-game suspension and $1,000 fine won't be enough this time. Was DiJonai Carrington's white privilege threads post, just 8 minutes after being ejected for a flagrant 2, the moment the targeting of the Indiana Fever crossed from basketball into politics? And what suspension should the WNBA hand down that would actually send a message? Drop your thoughts in the comments.